Good afternoon, everybody. It's Old Pal Martin Millett here. Hope you're going well. Now, yesterday was 1 year since the United Kingdom went into lockdown, and I can clearly remember what it was like back then. I'd been kicked out of my house because the landlady didn't really like me, and I didn't really like her. I had to go live in a hostel for a couple of nights, and basically, the hospitality industry was just shut overnight. The only businesses that could stay or afloat and open were like takeaways. So I had to go on furlough. To fix up my housing situation, I went to live with this Jamaican landlady in Birmingham in the east, and she was not a really nice person. I would describe her as xenophobic, and why do I say that? It's because I wanted to do business with Pakistan-run shops and buying groceries. And then she's like, "Oh, Martin, don't you be doing business with Pakistan-run shops, they're all dirty people." I mean, lady, Christian people from Pakistan do seek refuge in the United Kingdom, so I don't think every Pakistan person in this country is like that. So it was a hard 30 days living with this cow. I didn't really like her, she didn't really like me. She didn't like me using her dress to get parcels that I needed, like my medicines and my things. And so I basically disowned her. If I said anything really bad to her, like any name of the son, you can get chucked in jail for calling somebody a prick in an email these days. So I had to move back to London, move to a hostel, which I was there for 8 months. And so April, May, June was boring and normal. There were days I didn't even leave Willesden for 14 days until I had to go across town and see doctors in Walthamstow. Then, there was the whole Black Lives Matter. I basically stayed out of London through all those protests. I thought I don't want to get involved in these type of things because of the pandemic. And, people were toppling statues in Bristol and, causing violence in Westminster. And my cousin was like, "Hey, Martin, the people are going, mad in London. Hope you're safe." And so I had to tell him that I was staying safe in NW10. It was funny when the shops reopened, like the Primark. Because I remember the first day Primark reopened, I just went there and I just bought myself new underwear, new socks, new shirts. Because I've been stuck in the same boring wardrobe. And as a matter of fact, I was still wearing this jumper 12 months ago that I bought in December 2019. Then July came along. The pubs reopened on the 4th of July, Yankee Independence Day. And I got myself a prisoner haircut from the barber up the road who has a MBE to his name. I didn't go back to work until August. And then in the time of August, it was the eat out to help out, so I went to various Weatherspoons to chomp on into the half-price meals. And even I went out to Le Gaff, a really nice Italian Greek restaurant in Hampstead, and I just got half price off my coffee and cake. Let's see, September was usual, and then October last year was the first time I left London in a period of 5 months. I went out to Littlehampton and Milton Keynes to see a couple of ladies I like, and I also saw a few ladies close to London. And then before Bojo announced the second lockdown in November, I already had plane tickets to go to Serbia, Turkey, Northern Iraq, and Sweden. And so I was like, I gotta get the hell out of here. So I changed my flight tickets to Belgrade to leave on the Monday, and I left before the second lockdown. Even though I couldn't go to Iraq because of stupid people that Flight Pegasus cancelled my flight to Erbil, and the lying pieces of shit in Serbia and North Macedonia told me that Bulgaria was closed and Bulgaria was open. I didn't get to go to Iraq, and I didn't bother going to Sweden. So after 3.5 weeks in Serbia, I just went back to the United Kingdom and spent 14 days in Bangor, Wales, in a studio. So after the 14 days, I went to Liverpool to meet up with a South African friend of mine, and she came down to London before the Tier 4 thing happened, so that was really good to see her then. But then I did go back to work in December for 1 day, and then we had to close because it was Tier 3 and we couldn't trade. So thank you, Bojo, and for all the other rest of the Tories for extending the furlough scheme. I really love it. And I'm going to be so happy to be getting furloughed till September. Then Christmas was boring as usual. It was another Christmas for me in London, my second in a row. I was kind of glad I wasn't travelling like around that time. Otherwise, things would be really stuffed up. And plus, I had to come back to London in December because I had so much medicine to pick up. I had so many doctor's appointments to do. I had so many injections that I had to have. Then I got bloody COVID in mid-January, and I had to stay in this awful hotel in Holborn that was full of scabies and bedbugs, and it was so horrible. And I don't recommend anybody else stay in this hotel. And the owners there were really bad perverts, making comments about the woman on my iPhone screen. I'm not going to name nationalities, but just if you go there and they give you a really shit time, you'll believe, the metalhead told you so not to go there. And then I moved into a new house right here, like last month, and I got my COVID vaccination, and I changed my doctors for the second time this year, and then life goes on as usual. So I'm kind of like grateful that I'm still here, because back at the time, in March 2020, my passport, British identity document, was locked up at the Ghanaian High Commission, and the people in that building, they couldn't fetch it out for me, and I couldn't leave the United Kingdom, and I couldn't have gone back to Australia without it. And I'm really grateful that I did not go back to Australia, because I'm not going to pay £3,000 to that idiot ScoMo when I only had to spend £300 to stay 14 days in Bangor. So anyway, onwards and upwards for all you people who are still alive today, who have battled COVID, who have survived it, and who have avoided COVID, who have had your life changed the last 12 months. I think about you, you know. So anyway, Martin the Mellerhead, over and out.